What's up, everyone?
Hello.
It is Marissa and Brendan, and we've been a little quiet this week because it was my birthday, and so we just took a little break and enjoyed it. But today we are bringing on one of our leaders, one of our mentors, and I actually shared her story when I first started, but since then Brendan has joined me, and we're going to talk about something fun today. Let's see. And of course. So, all right, there she is. A little bit about her. She has a real estate background, single mom, was with a different company before this one, has come over here, rocked it out. Her growth has been amazing. People talk about ours, but you're only as good as the mentors and the leaders you have in front of you. So
That's right. Hi, Kim.
hello. Uh-oh.
There
Okay,
we go.
there we go.
Can you
How
hear me
are
okay?
you? Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay, good. I'm doing wonderful. How are you guys?
We're good.
Good.
We're
It's good to see you.
Good to see you. Thanks for having me on here.
No, thank you for joining us.
We haven't done this in a really long time.
No,
So
I know. And
let's dive into it.
yeah. And so I shared a little bit, and I started to say, people talk about how Brendan and I have grown as a couple and as individuals. And I was saying, you're only as good as the mentorship and the leaders in front of you. And we wanted to talk about your growth. And because you are a mentor and you are a leader, and if your mentors and your leaders aren't growing, the people in your organization aren't going to grow either. So we want to put you on the spotlight, and we want you to talk about what attributed to it. We've talked about it. Sydney had me on, and I shared a little bit about it, but yeah, go for it.
Okay. Gosh, I don't even know where to start. Okay, so I'll just kind of start with where I came from. So first of all, let's lay a foundation. I was not born with a silver spoon in my mouth. I come from a traditional, all-American, hardworking, blue-collar family. It's not like I'm a trust fund baby. I dropped out of college, right? So my story is, it's not like I've been handed anything. And I had a baby at 19, and that'll make you grow up very quickly. And I've been a single mom ever since. And I think the start of that journey really started to develop thick skin. If you know a single parent, if you are a single parent, there's just areas in your life where you really get stretched because you're doing double the work with half the manpower, right? You're wearing so many different hats, from the Uber driver and the disciplinary and the breadwinner and the nurse and the nurturer and everything, right? So after doing that for, now it's been 16 years, you really grow some thick skin, and you develop some resiliency, which can serve you very well in a lot of other areas in life. And it has served me very well in this industry, because this industry will really, network marketing will challenge your mindset. It'll challenge your own belief and your own abilities and your talents and your gifts. And it focuses on matters of the heart, and developing a skill set. And it's mentally challenging, it's emotionally challenging, but it is so insanely rewarding because of the growth that happens when you put yourself through the gauntlet, right? It's kind of like you're this Olympian that is pushing yourself every single day to do better and to be better and to go stronger and harder. And before you know it, you can end up on that podium and everybody looks at you in awe because of the hard work that you put in and invested in yourself, and the diligence and the commitment, right? And all of those things. And so no pain, no gain. Everybody knows that. And when you step into the land of entrepreneurship, that rule applies in a lot of different areas in people's lives. And so we focus on 7 strengths, which are spiritual strength, emotional strength, mental strength, physical strength, financial strength, time strength, social media strength. And all of those areas, you have to be elevated in that, right? You have to be challenged in that. You have to grow in that. You have to expand your capacity. And that doesn't always feel good. Now, if you've been a single parent and you've been through something in your life, there's one guy on our team, his name is Danny. I'm so inspired by him because he was homeless when he started this. And now you look at him and he has this great business, and he would be labeled as a millennial. And right. He's just accomplished so much at a very young age. But talk about overcoming challenge. Talk about like having to get out of your own way and your mindset being challenged. Like, he was homeless. Like, why should anybody join him in business? Why should he have the credibility? And the secret is you don't have to be rich to teach other people how to be rich. And that comes down to financial education and financial literacy. But there's other areas. You can become a master of that. You can become a network marketing ninja and spout numbers and data and statistics all day long, right? And you can come across very intelligent, but then there's going to be other things in your life that maybe you have suppressed for 16 years like I did that start to surface, and they start to come up. And that is what nobody really understands about network marketing until there's some attention called to it. It is going to call out the biggest weaknesses in your life, usually right away. Yeah. And then it forces you to work on them. And when people see that and they start to understand, you do not get to pass go. You do not get to collect $200. The Monopoly man stops you. The money doesn't come until you start to work on these things. And people get frustrated. And they're like, well, I thought it was going to be easier than that. And I don't like how this feels, so I'm just going to quit. Mm-hmm. And then they never deal with those issues. They never deal with the things that they have suppressed for so many years in their life because it feels so uncomfortable, because it hurts somebody's pride and ego to acknowledge that they have something blaring in their life that needs adjusting. Nobody likes that. Mm-hmm. It hurts. It pierces your heart. It's like, oh gosh, like I am not really as good as I thought I was. Right? And then in my situation, you get to the top of something. You become top 1% of the company. And people start to look at you in a certain way, like, man, she has it all together. There's nothing that could go wrong in her life. There's nothing that she can't do. There's nothing that, like, nothing needs to be fixed. She has no issues. And it creates this facade and this unnecessary pressure to live up to this expectation and this image that people have of you. This is why celebrities crash. Mm-hmm. This is why they get addicted to drugs. This is why they end up committing suicide, or they have depression and they feel like they can't tell anybody because it's this mounting pressure of this image that they have to live up to. And one of the areas, there's a ton of them that I've discovered about my own personal life and things that really I suppressed for the past 16 years, but now they're starting to bubble up. Yes, I have massive success. Yes, I've been able to accomplish some great things financially, and I have this amazing team, and I would be nowhere without them. And, I have these accolades, but when there are situations in your, how do I want to say this? When there are areas in your life that have gaps, and it can be in your mental strength, it could be in your emotional strength, it could be a trigger from like 10 years ago that you haven't dealt with, it will resurface. It will come back. And there were things like that in my life that now they've started to bubble because I had created some bad habits for myself. One of them being no routine and infrastructure, because I was in survivor mode. And survivor mode looks like this. Soldier on, just keep going. Don't let people see you sweat. Don't cry. Don't burden other people with your problems. It could be worse. Your problems aren't that bad. Other people have it worse than you. And what that does is it starts to minimize your issue to where you bury it, because somebody does always have it worse than you. That's true. There's always going to be somebody in this world that has it worse than you. And when you're a compassionate, empathetic person towards other people that have issues that you consider a bigger challenge, you're like, I should not be complaining. But then you start to minimize that bubble, and eventually it becomes a volcano and it will explode. So there were things like that in my life that started to surface and commanded attention. And a big one is the survivor mindset. And I told myself, if I could just get rid of all this debt, and some of you on here may have heard this story already. I paid off 50 grand of debt in 18 months with this. The survivor mindset is a double-edged sword. It gives you really, really thick skin, and you can run through brick walls, and you're this anomaly, and people look at you and they're like, that's incredible, and I want to be like her, and she can do anything but fly. And if you have a survivor mindset, you probably tell yourself that you can fly without wings, because that's what it takes to get through the day. So that's the good part. You can get where you want to be faster because you don't let others' opinions and thoughts and comments and things like that provoke you. You just stay on that straight and narrow path, and nothing distracts you, right? And that can be a gift, because you can just soar with that. But if you don't mitigate that survivor mindset in time, there's other things that will start to fall apart in your life. One of those for me was a routine and an infrastructure. I didn't have any. It was all just a beautiful mess. And I just like went for it. And then when I didn't have a routine, I didn't have infrastructure, like for the sake of my kid or for myself, I started to notice all these other things happen in my life. I'm like, but my life is so good. Like, why can't I feel like I keep it all together right now? You know? So that was part of it. And then the other thing, the biggest thing with survivor mindset, there is a direct correlation between happiness and money in our society. We place our value of ourselves based on how much money we have in the bank account, how successful we are, the accolades that we receive, instead of just who we are as a human and what our God-given gifts are, so to speak. And I thought, when I just pay off the debt, when I just have the money in the bank, I won't have to feel like I'm surviving anymore.
Mm-hmm.
But the reality is that I had operated so long habitually for 16 years that I realized that it is a mindset and it is a habit, and I'm still operating in this space of struggle when I'm not struggling anymore. So why do I still feel like it? And it becomes a very psychological thing. And that's probably one of the biggest areas that I've been growing in, is changing that part of my mindset. We talk a lot about mindset in this industry. You got to change your mindset about, consumer driven habits versus entrepreneurial habits, and the mindset that they have and the vision that they have, because you need sight for a day and vision for the journey. Consumers have sight, entrepreneurs have vision. You have to change your mindset. You have to change your mindset about the infrastructure of the network marketing model. No, it's not a pyramid scheme. Here's why, right? There's all these mindset issues, but sometimes some of those things start to surface and start to show themselves when you've reached certain marks, and the process doesn't let you cheat. The process will say, do not pass go, do not collect $200. You're in chapter 26. You got to go back to chapter 2. And there are people that have been in our organization, in this industry overall, that the moment that they see chapter 10, they're like, I want to be at chapter 10, but I want to skip chapters 2, 3, 4, and 7. And this process doesn't let them do that. Now they're putting the finger saying, oh yeah, that doesn't work.
Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah, that's a scam. Oh yeah, that didn't feel good. It was miserable. I got screwed over. No, you just didn't do the work.
Mm-hmm.
And the work isn't always just picking up the phone and calling somebody. The work is in here. It's in here. It's getting out of your own way, and that's a process. It's kind of like if you have a battered dog, a dog that was abused for a really long time, and you go and you try to coddle that dog might growl, that dog might run away from you, even though you have really good intentions, right? And it's mindset. It thinks it's going to be beaten. It thinks that it's going to be hurt, so it goes into defensive mode. And you have to work with that dog to help them understand that, hey, this is a safe space, right? I'm not going to hurt you. I want to love you. And that takes time. It doesn't happen overnight. And people think their mindset just happens overnight because of mechanics, or people's mindset can change and evolve overnight because they have the knowledge and the understanding and the mechanics, but then they don't apply it in their own life. And there were several things in my life that I knew, some of them, not all of them, because there were some things that there were boxes that I missed that I didn't even know existed. And then I looked back and I was like, oh wait, I don't have that in my life. And I haven't had that for the past 16 years because I couldn't, because I was in this survivor mode for so long, taking care of my kids. So I bypassed those things way earlier in my life. They just happened to surface in network marketing.
Mm-hmm.
And that's what this does. And anybody that watches somebody overcome a trial in their life or a challenge, or they come out of a really tough spot, it doesn't matter what it is, and then they're put on a platform, that inspires people and it gives them hope, because then your message and your story says, it's possible and you can do it too. Because motivation is garbage at the end of the day. No, people are like, I'm not motivated. You're never going to be motivated. You're never going to feel like doing the things that feel uncomfortable because you're only motivated to do the things that feel comfortable. You're only motivated to do the things that you want to do that are easy. It takes inspiration and drive and somebody speaking into your life, creating belief that you can go bigger and you can go broader and you can go stronger to create that inspiration and move on it.
And why?
So those are some of the, yeah. So those are, I just kind of went all over the place.
No, this is good.
But that's real talk, and this is real life. And there's people that I think look at this industry and the only thing that they see is the money. Now we all need money. Money's like oxygen, right? I get it. And it's always nice to have more of it because then you can do more things. You can take more vacations. You can pay off more debt. You can save yourself on the interest payments on the car or on the house when you pay things off, right? I get it. But there's so many multimillionaires that have committed suicide because they weren't happy, because they were depressed. Why? And it's because there's all these other areas in their life. Maybe they were lacking relationship, they're lacking fulfillment, they're lacking purpose. They're looking at all of these things in their life that they say, I have all these issues, I have all these problems, I haven't fixed it, and everybody thinks I'm this amazing success story. And they just have no idea, and they just can't handle it anymore. And so our business is designed to build people with all of those things and all of those issues and love on people. So when you do that, people go out and they can build a massive business. And so that probably, I don't even know how long we've been on here, but that probably sheds some light a little bit about my growth and my development in the past 2.5 years. And if you were to go back and you were to look at my first Facebook Live video that I ever did, I don't sound the same.
No.
I sound like a totally different person. And I say that because I was shoving eye cream down people's throats trying to get them to follow me. And now I'm out here saying, here are all my skeletons. And I know some of you on this live have them too. And I'm going to tell you that it's okay to have them. And we have a system and a community that's going to help get you out of that. And it's not going to happen overnight. And it's going to take time. And then eventually you can be financially rewarded. You can make some quick money right off the top. But if you're not being built as a person, this is why people don't with network marketing, even after a couple of years. Men all hot and sexy with their smoke and mirror pitch, and they're running to the top and they're making all this money and they're flashing paychecks, and then they lose steam after 24 months. What just happened if your business is so great? What just went wrong with that? And people see that all the time.
Did you expect this to happen? Did you expect this kind of growth to happen? I mean, you just said it. You were like, in the beginning, you're hot and you're going, and then all of a sudden it's like, oh wow, 2 years and here I am dealing with all these issues that I didn't even know were there.
No, the answer is no. I didn't. The things that I am working on now, in just my own life and personal development and things like that. Some of them I knew I lacked in. But I had lived for this long and I survived for this long and I got this far without them. So I'm like, yeah, that's probably not something that I need. That doesn't apply to me. How many times do we say that in life? That's never going to happen to me. That doesn't apply to me. I don't need that. They need that. Usually that's the very thing you do need. Oh yeah, network marketing is not for me. I'm good with the money that I make. BS you are. Because if a government gave you a tax return, you're not going to turn around and hand it back to them. You're going to keep it.
Yep.
So I didn't expect all of those things to happen, and you go through it for a reason. My dad's a preacher, and I remember years ago he told me, he's like, Kimberly, do you understand why people go through trials in their life? And I said no, or challenges, whatever that looks like for people. And he said no, and he said it's so that others can be blessed. And I was like, well, it's like ass backwards. Like I don't like how that sounds. And my dad's a really, really wise man. He's my favorite man on the whole planet. And I see that now. In order for me to lead people through a crazy jungle, I have to go and experience the swamp myself and understand how to climb out of it and what that looks like if I'm expected to take other people through that place that they want to go. You can't take somebody to a place that they've never been. And so you have to constantly remain uncomfortable, and you have to constantly put yourself through the eye of the needle so that you can be stretched and have those experiences and know exactly what it is that people go through so that you can speak into their life and they can relate to you. Shared vulnerability is one of the most powerful things in business, and proximity and what that looks like. And familiarity. I'm going to try to say this word. Familiarity. Did I say that right?
Yeah.
Yeah. You guys know what I'm saying. I'm a C student. I can teach you how to make a lot of money, but I can't always pronounce things. So, and my dad was right. I had to go through some stuff or some trials or overcome some things. And that looks different for everybody at the end of the day. You're never going to get more than what you can handle. Most of the time, you're not going to die. And there's a reason why you're going through the pit, and you have to climb yourself out of it, or climb out of it, get yourself out of it. And it's so that you can turn around when somebody comes along a year later and say, oh, I know exactly what that's like. I've been there. And somebody feels that familiar connection to you, that vulnerability. And they said, finally, somebody understands. How did you get through it? And what did you do? Because I need to know how to fix this. I need solutions. Now you're the solution. So it blesses people at the end of the day.
That's awesome, Kim. I'm so glad you went there, because I think that shows why you're in the 1% of earners, that you went right there. And I think it transcends outside of this industry and to any business. And you look at, why did that coffee shop make it and that one not make it? Or why did, that company make it and that company not make it? And they were killing it for 2 years and then dropping off. You're going to see the same things in any business. And it comes down to that leadership and the people in it that are putting it together, and their growth and their stick-to-itiveness. So that's amazing. You went right there. I thought, here we go. We're going to go financial education and, business acumen, but no, Kim went right to the heart of it. I love it. And
I'm like, okay, where do I go with that? Like I could turn this into an hour-long live, but
that's awesome. That's awesome. So you said a little bit about, we work on the seven parts of it and strengths of it, and in the school. Can you talk a little bit about how we do that? What we've seen and where we do that?
Yeah. So one thing I do want to say is that you're never going to be able to out earn your capacity. If you want to make $1 million, you're not going to be the same person at the end of that. From where you started, you're going to go through some changes, and you're going to feel stretched. And the 7 pillars that we teach on all apply to developing an individual to get to that position, if that's what they're looking for. Not everybody wants to come in and make $1 million. That's okay. Some people just want to come in and make an extra 500 because that means they get to quit their second job and stay home at night with the kids. Great, we've made an impact on somebody, but we also have the system to be able to teach people how to achieve those astronomical goals. And those 7 things, those 7 strengths, that's like, I could do like an hour and a half talk on that. Let's talk about time strength, because I think that one applies to every single person that has access to the internet. And right now we live in a society where we can have anything, right? Everything is at our fingertips, and we can have it just like that. We don't even have to get up to turn on a radio anymore. We just say, Alexa, play oldies. You don't have to get up out of your chair, and it happens just like that in 2 seconds. Right. Alexa, I need groceries. It's delivered to your door within an hour. Instacart, DoorDash. You can have whatever you want. Amazon, 2-day shipping, whatever you want. It can be at your doorstep in 2 days. Don't have the money? That's okay. That's what credit cards are for. Go out and get it anyway, which I don't advise. But you guys see the wisdom in that. We live in this yes, exactly. We live in this instant gratification society. Whatever we want, we can have right away. But there's certain things that don't happen overnight. Relationships, friendships, education, business, love. Right? There's certain thing. And when you look at those realms, those are a lot of the things that are failing in today's society. Divorce rate is up. Half America is getting divorced. People are starting to perceive love as how many likes they get on their Instagram. And then they wonder why so many people have fallen into depression. And it's because they have this superficial affirmation from somebody that they don't even know via virtual site, and they have no human live stimulation and connection with them, right? We're not meant to be isolated creatures. We're meant to have human face-to-face, belly-to-belly connection, chemistry. You look at how businesses are changing in the 21st century because of the power of the internet. The newspaper industry is basically non-existent. Nobody's getting newspapers anymore, right? You look at the movie rental business. Blockbuster is no longer around. They decided to not invest in Netflix, and look what happened to them. You look at, I could go on with that, but you got education system is totally failing America right now. Right. So the things that don't happen overnight, and I think that's failing for a totally different reason. That maybe that's another life for another time. Unless you're going into a trade, then that's different. I'm not going to like black label everything. But at the end of the day, some of the most important things in life are failing because of this mindset of instant gratification. I'm going to go back. I'm circling back around here, and they're lacking time strength. And it's because it takes time to build those things. It takes time, and it takes commitment, and it takes diligence. And when you're operating in a society that allows you to exercise the habits of you don't have to wait, you can have it instantly, it conditions your mindset to say, I don't really want to do that. It didn't happen for me fast enough. And then people quit.
Yeah.
And so I think the time strength that applies and spills over into so many different areas of your life. At the end of the day, not just network marketing. But again, we teach these principles of success, principles govern success. We teach these strengths so that you can be a better human for the sake of your family and your friends and your business and your community and everything else that you're contributing to in life, the workspace. So we're teaching things that, first of all, are priceless, and you can't buy them with money. And by the way, our business school is free. Everything that we do is free. And it's not only going to benefit you from a financial standpoint in business, but it's going to benefit you long term in your relationships with your children, with your spouse, with your friends. And so I think that that's probably one of my favorites that we teach on is the time strength and having the vision. What is this going to look like 2 years from now? What is this going to look like 5 years from now? It's crazy because people like to exercise the time strength with their 401k, and they'll put their $50 in. They're like, in 40 years, I'm going to have $500,000.
Yeah.
Weird, because you can exercise it there. Like, you're conditioned in your mindset to know that this doesn't happen overnight. But imagine if you started to do that in a business like this with network marketing. Where would you be in 5 years if you were that diligent and consistent? I can tell you that you can make way more than $500,000 a year. There's people in this business making that right now. So anyway, I don't know if that addresses your question or not, but I just decided to go like one angle with the time strength there.
No, I like it. That's that is something that we're learning. It is one of the things that we've been taking out of the business school and applying it to our lives, not just in this particular business, but in our other businesses, as well as just in our personal life and the things that we're doing. No, that's great. What else do you have for Kim?
We could be here all day.
I know.
So, but
we wanted to focus on growth and we and where you're getting it from, and I think you answered that.
Yeah,
you nailed it.
Because it's the same place that we're getting it from. And
it is.
People ask us, and they when we talk about it, we just wanted to share someone else's because we're getting it from the same place, and it's just been an absolutely amazing journey so far. I mean, our life is completely different, and it wouldn't be if we didn't step into this space and this team and this company and these people, and of course we're doing the work. I mean, obviously, because no one's going to come over here and do it for us. But
I think people can see that, Marissa. I remember the very first live that we did. You were so nervous. You cried. You're like, I'm sorry, I just can't keep it together. And like, you're on here now and you're calm and you're cool and you're confident and you're collected and you have this peace about you. And I think that people can see that. And that's why I love leaving up my lives from like 2.5 years ago, is because people need to see what growth looks like. People need to understand it doesn't happen overnight. This took 2.5 years. Like, imagine what it's going to be in 5 years, 10 years
How
from now.
exciting
I don't
is
know.
I
I'm
know.
going to dominate the world. That's what I tell myself. I'm going to be Beyonce and Oprah Winfrey all at the same time.
I believe
Just
you.
the white version.
That's awesome.
I know, and that's what I was telling Sydney yesterday. I said, what happened to wanting to save the world one person at a time? Like, why? What? There's nothing wrong with that, Like, people should have that want and that drive and that challenge, and not just live this complacent, average life. Because she wanted me to talk about not being average, and I want to change people's lives. We want to speak into people's lives. We want to stop people from the mistakes that we did. Like, that's what we were put on here for. And it's just amazing. It's just amazing to be in this community and have the same drive and the same wants and to save the world with everyone, so to speak. Save the world.
Well, and it's great to be.
I'm going to stop you right there. We just got a comment from Dina. Hey, Dina, thanks for checking this out. She said that she's watched you a lot and she's asking what your business is. So let's touch on that real quick.
Let's do it.
We're involved in network marketing, that business that people call a pyramid. And we educate people on what the infrastructure is and here's what it looks like. And right now in corporate America, you can't make more money than your boss. You cannot rank them. You can't make more money than them. You can't give yourself promotions. You can't give yourself pay raises. And one guy at the top makes all the money, the CEO, and you're never going to make more money than him. That system is designed to keep you at the bottom. It's designed to create a scarcity mindset. As you continue to climb up that ladder in that pyramid, there's only so many positions available and you have to fight against everybody else, right? And our pyramid, there's room for everybody at the top. You can make more money than the person above you. You can outrank them. You can pass them up. You can give yourself promotions. You can give yourself pay raises. And that's what our business is. And we have a product line and a business school that teaches people how to grow in all 7 strengths.
You locked up on us, Kim.
Frozen.
Time.
She was on fire.
Yeah. Oh, we lost her.
All right, guys. Well, I know she went frozen. Oh, she wants to be in it.
Oh,
she's not done.
She's not done.
She's not done. Don't get her going. No, get her going.
Get her going.
Get her going.
Oh, we got you going now and you froze up.
Yeah, I got it.
Hey, Marissa, how's it going?
Frozen, can you hear me?
Yeah, you're still coming in and out here. Give it a sec. Yep.
Okay. I ended up getting a phone call and I put my phone on do not disturb, but the call came through again. So
our
what
business.
was I talking about? The 7 strengths so we focus on building people. And when you build people, people go out and build a massive business. And here are the benefits is everybody needs more time. Everybody needs more money. Everybody needs more freedom and less debt. And we have a vehicle that we put people and we teach them how to drive it to get them all of those things. But at the same time, we offer a sense of community and culture and camaraderie that I think is rarely found in this industry. And it's something that you can build from anywhere. And really what we focus on is teaching you how to expand your capacity, because again, I said this earlier, you're never going to out earn your capacity. So we must stretch that. We must expand that in you. And that's the part that feels the stretching. You feel it, no pain, no gain. And then the financial benefit comes later. So Dina, what we can do is after this, if you want to hop on a call and you want to explore this and dive in a little bit, we're more than happy to discuss that with you and show you some information. And that includes anybody that's on this live that has been watching the Wilsons for quite some time. They're in my organization. I love working with them, and I'm more than happy to help whoever it is that wants to have a conversation about it. So anyway, hopefully that answers Dina's question. Is there any other
Oh
stuff you
man,
want me to go over?
you're on
Discuss?
fire.
I know
Maybe we should keep it going,
we've been
but
all
we
over
know
the
you're
map
busy.
today.
Yeah, we actually have someone supposed to be here right now that we're walking through the process. So
Yep.
Okay. Well, look, I really appreciate you having me on. This is rad. Let's do this again soon. And Dina, I hope I get
Thanks,
to meet
Kim.
you, and I look forward to chatting with
All right.
you.
Bye-bye.
So, thanks again.
bye.